Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 22 on the PlayStation 5, and we're back with Race 4 of Season 3 with Williams. We're heading to Italy and to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola. Apologies for not streaming last night. I was a little bit more tired than I thought I was, and about 8:30, 9 o'clock I decided to kill an hour by listening to a podcast, and next thing I knew it was about midnight, and I'm like, oh, what happened? I fell asleep at some point and just zonked out for a couple of hours. So yeah, that's why there was no stream last night. I do apologise, but we're back tonight. We're going to kick off with end the weekend, or end the week with Williams. How you doing, Anthony? Good to see you. So, it's been a week since we were last with the boys in blue. Let's have a quick catch up as to where we are. Top of the Constructors' Championship. We are 34 points clear. That's nice. George Russell sitting 2 points ahead of Max Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship. Defending champion Pierre Gasly is down in 5th. He's had a bad run of form at the start of the season. A bit of bad luck has gone against him as well, but he is still kind of within the hunt, and if he can string some results together, he can get himself right back in that title fight. He is only 24 points off Russell, so less than a win, just. Let's take a look at the circuit coming up. We are going to Imola, and that's what the circuit looks like for us. Plenty of high-speed corners, a couple of low speeds, a couple of medium-speed corners. Let's see how our car is looking going into this Grand Prix as it stands right now. It's looking pretty good in the cornering, not quite so good in the low-speed stuff. Our DRS is looking very good, but we have lost out a bit in terms of speed. What upgrades do we have coming? We've got new side pods due on the day of the Grand Prix, and a new front wing and a new underfloor. So we've got 3 new parts all coming for this Grand Prix. We could be on for a nice big boost in performance here. How you doing, Marcel? Good to see you. So let's advance some time. Let's get those new parts on the car. Got a spare suspension done. Our memorabilia room is in poor condition. That's fine. I'll leave that like that. Weather sensor, I'm not going to upgrade the weather sensor because the weather's still broken. I am going to give the board room a little spruce up. What about our other facilities? Team Hub is getting close to needing a refurb, and so is our race sim, so we'll have to keep some money aside for those. We've got plenty of money at the moment. Wind Tunnel is going through an upgrade right now, and we're close to being able to afford the final design center upgrade as well. We need 32 mil for that, although with the upcoming expenses of refurbishments, probably going to lose at least 10 mil. So maybe a little bit longer until we get that one. We'll see how things go. This is going to be an expensive round of manufacturing as well. Lots of emergency manufacturing going on. Side pods are in low stock. Well, we're about to get new ones, so that's fine. We've got the results of the regulation vote, which I believe was to go back to 1990s scoring. Top 6. There's our 3 brand new parts. Oh no, this was technical changes. Okay, so what have we gone for? Chassis focus changes. So that'll affect airflow and drag reduction quite heavily on the chassis, less so on the side pods. Okay, and only 3 teams voted against that: Haas, Alpha Tauri and Alfa Romeo, so that passed quite easily. Right, so side pod manufacturing, let's get 2 of those. This is where our money goes down very quickly, and let's get those straight onto the car. Oh, that's giving us a nice little boost to our acceleration. That's great. Really good to see that. Right, next is the front wing. So we've got our brand new front wing. That's going to improve our low speed cornering quite nicely as well, and our brake cooling is going to get a huge boost as well. Excellent stuff. So let's go ahead and let's emergency manufacture 3 of those. Actually, let's make it 4. We've got the money. And we've got 2 spares. And the next one we want to do is our brand new underfloor. And that is not going to give us much, but it is going to give us another acceleration boost. So still a little bit draggy, still got a bit of a speed deficit, but our acceleration now looking much better. Of course, we do need to combine this with the new front wing as well, so the top speed may actually go up a little bit. We're going to emergency manufacture 3 of those. And now we're going to go ahead and make 1 extra at normal speed. There we go. And for the front wings, I'm also going to go ahead and manufacture 2 normal. There we go. So let's get those new parts onto the car. So starting with the front wing, let's add those on. There we go. Now the underfloor. Okay. And what has that? Let's check out all the other parts actually as well. We've got the best suspension on, new underfloor, new side pods, rear wing. Yep, best rear wing we've got. New front wing's been done. Chassis. Got the best chassis we've got on. So where does our car sit now with these brand new parts? 11th still in top speed, but we are at the grid average. So that's not too bad. Acceleration, we are now 3rd on the grid for acceleration. Our low speed gets a huge boost and is now 5th. We maintain top spot in medium and high speed cornering. Our acceleration for DRS and top speed has stayed the same in terms of ranking, but they probably had a slight tweak. Our brake cooling has improved massively, gone from 17th to 7th. That's really important to have working brakes on a car that gets faster. Evening Farah, how you doing? So let's see how we stack up against the competition. This is Ferrari. Ferrari are considerably faster than us in terms of top speed in ranking, but what does that actually translate on the track? Not much, just 0.1 kilometers per hour. So that's not that much at all. They do have a slight edge in low speed performance when it comes to cornering. We are better in medium and much better in high speed. That's really encouraging. Let's take a look at Red Bull. Red Bull, as always, mighty fast in a straight line. And let's see what our deficit to them is. That's actually a bit more significant. And it's 0.3 kilometers an hour. Couldn't clear me throat there. But we do have a significant cornering advantage on them. So they don't have great downforce through the corners, but they do have a very slippy car in a straight line. Their brake cooling is actually pretty good as well. Let's take a look at Mercedes. Mercedes in a similar boat to us speed-wise. You know, not the greatest speed, not the greatest acceleration, but a pretty good acceleration. Their cornering leaves a bit to be desired, though, and their DRS is pretty poor. Actually, looking at that, 15th. So that's good to see. Bottas has been in good form in the Mercedes so far this season. Let's take a look at Alpine. Alpine are trailing a little bit, but they're looking decent in the corners. Who else can we compare against? Is there anyone else that's really threatening? I want to take a look at Aston Martin, actually, because Aston Martin have been performing well this season. And that's the reason. Look at their top speed. They are 6th. They are faster than we are in terms of top speed. That's the only category they beat us in, though. But yeah, big improvement for Aston Martin this season. They really have kicked on, which is unusual to see. Normally Aston Martin just stay way at the back of the grid. So to see them moving up a little bit is quite interesting. Right, we've got 3 new slots available for brand new parts. So, what do we want to develop? I think a new rear wing with some hours is probably called for. We are 10 days away from our next ATR period. So instead of doing a big rear wing now, what can I do as a small project? I suppose I could get some research done. I don't want to do another underfloor yet. It's too soon. I know we didn't put any hours in the last underfloor, but let's go ahead and do a research project on the chassis. We definitely want to make sure that the airflow and the drag reduction are getting a big improvement. We'll leave the engine cooling where it is. In fact, I'm even going to dip the engine cooling down just a little bit. Try and get as much out of the others as possible. There we go. 1 engineer. How many have I got? I've got loads of engineers. Okay, let's go with... Let's go with 5 engineers. And we'll also do a research project on the side pods as well. 10% reduction there. Again, we'll take some off the engine cooling. And we'll boost everything that's going to take a hit in the regulations. And we'll put 5 engineers on that as well. That'll be 39 days, a little bit longer. And that leaves us 5 engineers for our 3rd project, which will wait 10 days before we get started. And we'll do a brand new rear wing to try and remove some of the drag and improve our top speed, because that is a little lacking against the front runners. Part of that is maybe down to our engine, certainly in terms of performance against Red Bull. You know, Honda engine is the most powerful engine on the grid. So we are lacking in almost 10% in terms of power against them. Ours is, I think, 91.2. Theirs is 100. Ferrari, I think, is 95%. So Ferrari and Red Bull do have better engines than we do. But theirs are twice the price of ours. So it's not that bad a deficit given the costs. Qualifying position 2 in the top 2 is the incentive. I think we've actually in with a chance of that. Let's get both cars into Q3, both cars into Q2. Fastest lap, yes, we'll get the fastest lap. Finish position, I'm going to go for a double podium in this one. Finish position streak is 2 in the top 4. The guarantee, I'm going to go 2 in the top 4 for 5 races and see how we do with that. Is there anything else I need to get done before we start? We've got new floors, new front wings. We're good on every other part, I believe. Let me check. Warehouse. Don't need a spare side pods. Yeah, we are good to go. So let's head to the race weekend.
The hills of Tuscany are green to the south, but here in Imola the air is red hot. Welcome to Ferrari's turf for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. The track has been around since the 60s, but the first official Formula One race was held here in 1980. Let's see what excitement lies ahead this year. This is Imola, and it's an old school track with plenty of elevation changes and lots of corners. There's only one DRS zone here, but it follows the long straight right before Tamburello and should see plenty of action. We might still be early in the season, but that doesn't mean we can sit back and relax. Everything is up for grabs, and nothing is certain at this stage. What will happen this weekend? Only time will tell.
Okay, we have a wet race. Heavy rain as well. That's going to make this an exciting, interesting race. Let's see how we do. We're in race 4, so that means it's George's turn to sit out in practice 1. Yes, George's turn. So let's put Oliver Behrman in. In terms of car parts, I think both cars are still on their original parts still. You can see Gasly's car's taken a bit more of a battering, thanks to have been, having been crashed into a couple of times. So we'll leave the parts as they are. Actually, let me check. I haven't actually got any. Yeah, engine 1 still, engine 4, ERS 1 and 3, and gearbox 1 and 5. Yes, okay, so we are still on the original parts. That's good. Let's go into car setup. We'll start with George's car first. We are going to go with, let's have a look. Let's go with a 7, 12.5, a 4.6. Actually, let's go with 3.7. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, no, we'll go with a 4.6, a 3.45, and a 0.0. There we go. And that's our starting setup for George's car. I'm going to put in 21 laps of fuel and drop the pace. For Gasly, let's see. Gasly, I'm going to go with a 6.5, 12.5. A 4.6, a 3.5, and a 0.10. Everything's in tolerance. Let's give this one a go. Again, we're going to go 21 laps and drop that pace down and send them into practice.
Radio check, can you hear me?
Radio check, okay.
So we actually have some pretty big news for Formula One. A few days ago we were talking about how the FIA had started a new sort of process of accepting, or not necessarily accepting applications, but investigating applications and checking them out, seeing if they are suitable and sustainable, to be considered. And I said, it's time for, now that announcement has been made, it's time for Andretti to finally, show their hand, to, turn their cards, face up and go all in. And that's exactly what they've done. They have announced a partnership with General Motors to run the Cadillac brand as their engine partner, as an official entry. So it would be Andretti Cadillac as a prospective entry, and I think that's a really exciting prospect to see Cadillac in F1. I don't think we've ever had a GM engine brand represented in Formula One. I'm pretty sure we haven't. So yeah, that would be really cool to see. There's still scope for other manufacturers to jump in as well. I mean, there's talk about Hyundai as a possibility. I wouldn't mind seeing Ford coming in properly. They haven't really been in for a very long time. Last time I think was when they were, as a competitive unit, was the old Cosworth engines. I mean, back when they were, Stuart Ford, they were not that competitive. The last time they were officially in was when they, as a works team, was when they put Jaguar in, because obviously they own the Jaguar brand, but it wasn't technically a Ford, it was a Jaguar. Yeah, I'd like to see Andretti actually get in, and I'm really interested in an Andretti Cadillac partnership. I think that would be quite cool. They do want an American driver, which is almost certainly they're going to try and get Colton Herta. But I mean, if they do come in, it's going to be 2026 when they come in. If they do, we might well see them try and get Logan Sargent from Williams as well. If Logan Sargent performs well over the next couple of seasons, we could well see Andretti trying to sign him, poach him from Williams, and have Herta and Sargent as two American drivers.
Do you think you'd benefit from another set?
I think that would be quite cool to see as well. Or maybe Haas will go for Sargent in a couple of years' time, and we'll have two American teams, each with an American driver. Please? That would be very interesting as well.
I'm really pleased.
Okay, copy that.
Right, we're 81% for Pierre, 91% for Oliver Behrman. That's excellent. Let's call Behrman in. Oh, and he spun.
Let's take a look at the replay.
And I think he just damaged the underfloor as well.
Here. Look at that! They've spun their car.
He did. I thought so. Well, that's not great. That's a brand new underfloor already damaged. I might have to manufacture another spare one. Oh, I can't. I've got a manufacturing process going already, so I don't think I can manufacture another one now until that's finished. How you doing, Mr. Watter? Good to see you. Yeah, so we might be limited to just a 2 after this session then. Roll bar needs to change. I'm going to go to a 3.7. I'm going to up that and up that. Where does that leave us? Not quite optimal on the cornering. Let's go... Alright, that's not quite enough. Let's try dropping... No, going up with the front wing slightly. And let's go there with the toe. And let's give that a try. So what about you guys? Are you guys excited to see Cadillac appear in Formula 1? Yeah, just driving through each other there. Oh dear. Oh, okay, we're way off with this one. I do have a couple of 13s, but I don't know if it's going to be a 13. I'm going to try converting to one of my 13s, but I might have to go to a a 12. Let's see. Okay, that's not going to work. Very clearly not going to work. That has to be this way then. I don't know if that's going to be enough. We'll give that a try. See how that shakes out. Let's put on some fresh tyres and send it back out. A 200 million entry fee to compensate the currency. Yeah, it's the anti-dilution fund. I'm not sure if that's per season for a number of seasons or just a one-off fee. I think it's just a one-off fee, but it's designed to make sure that whoever's coming in is serious and not just, you know, going to do a Andrea Moda kind of thing where they pop in, or a Lola MasterCard entry, which comes in woefully underprepared, barely manages to do anything and disappears very quickly. And obviously that 200 million would be split amongst the existing 10 teams to compensate them for the loss of prize fund that they would get if an 11th team was part of the grid.
I think we've had a car run wide.
I really do want to see Ford back in as an engine supplier at the very least as well. I mean, their EcoBoost engine is magnificent, and you know, it would easily be adaptable, you know, in terms of technology to create a Formula One engine based around the EcoBoost, especially as F1 is trying to go 100% renewable fuel and carbon neutral. We've nailed the setup for that car there. That's excellent. We'll call it in. Save the wear. So yeah, I think Ford coming back as an engine supplier is something I would love to see. I don't know if it's going to happen. I've not heard any rumours about Ford getting back in, but you know, it would be great to see them coming back as an engine supplier. I'd love to see more than just a couple of engines. We've got 4 at the moment, but not really. We've got Mercedes supplies half the grid. You've got Honda that exclusively supplies Red Bull and its sister team. You've got Renault that exclusively supplies themselves, and you've got Ferrari that supply themselves, Haas and Alfa Romeo. So 2 manufacturers make up, you know, the vast majority of teams. They make up 7 of the teams on the grid. Are Honda going to do a full split from Red Bull and come in themselves as either a full engine manufacturer again, or maybe as a works team, and Red Bull have their own development engine? That would mean we would go up to 5 if that's the case. With Cadillac coming in, that would be 6 different suppliers. If Ford were to come in as well, that would be 7. Obviously, we've got Audi coming in 2026. That's going to be 8. I'd love to see a really big mix of engine suppliers, you know, on the grid. All right, we've nailed 100% with Pierre as well. Excellent stuff. I mean, we don't necessarily need to see 8 different manufacturers in there, but I mean, it would be good, I think, you know.
Fail 84, please. Fail 84.
I would give more options to the independent teams as well. You know, teams like Aston Martin and Williams. I was going to say Sauber, but obviously they are tied up now going forward. Haas, it would give them more options. Could they maybe switch Ferrari engines for Cadillac engines. If Cadillac do come in with Andretti, there's all sorts of possibilities out there now, going forward, and that excites me. Right, middle session, we're going to go with the hard tyres for this session. We're going to go with a very long run for George. 45 laps is probably too many, but we'll go for 42 and drop his pace, and he's good to go with his one with no spare underfloors on the car now. Can I actually go ahead and manufacture a new underfloor? I don't think I can, because I've got a project. Oh no, I can still emergency manufacture, even though I'm making one normally. Okay, that's good to know. So George is set. Let's do Gasly. Gasly is also going to run the hard tyres. He's going to run for 28 laps. And let's send him out.
Radio check. Radio check.
I mean, are there any manufacturers out there that you would like to see come in, either as a supplier or as a works team? Anthony has still not decided what second save to start. Can't decide between McLaren or Mercedes. If you go Mercedes, you want Russell and Norris long term. McLaren probably the same lineup. If you can build the car right in the first season, you'll be in with a real chance of winning both titles. It's technically doable with McLaren as well, but it's a lot harder to do it in season one. But it is still doable to at least get the drivers' championship if you get the car built right and gets a little bit of luck here and there in the early races. I would say if you're looking for a long-term save, you'd be better going with McLaren. Mercedes are always going to be up there. If you go McLaren, you're going to have more competition. It's going to make the save feel more competitive, because it'll be McLaren fighting their way back up to compete with Ferrari and Red Bull and Mercedes. You'll have potentially a four-way fight for the title. Whereas if you go with Mercedes, then season 2, if you've had a strong build on the car in season 1 and you've done your research right, you'll be top of the pack going into season 2, and the gap will just get bigger and bigger. So my suggestion would be to go for McLaren. It'll be a more long-term save. You won't be able to sign George Russell until the end of season 1. It's impossible to get anybody from McLaren. McLaren can sign anybody they want apart from Mercedes personnel, including the drivers, in the first season. You reckon you can improve quicker than your Aston file? Oh, you'll definitely be able to improve quicker than the Aston file. McLaren are only a couple of good upgrades away from a big jump in performance. They've got better drivers, they've got better staff, and you can hire, like I said, you can hire pretty much anybody apart from Mercedes personnel. So you could hire Red Bull engineers You could hire Diego Tondi from Ferrari. You could hire Pierre Wash from Red Bull as your technical chief. You could hire the top guy in each field, apart from the race engineers, but you could poach just about anybody you wanted. So yeah, and you've got a good budget as well, to be able to get your facilities up and running pretty quickly. You'll be able to get, you know, any driver that you want. You'll be able to get pretty much any staff that you want. You'll easily be able to improve McLaren faster than you would Aston, easily. All right, there we go. Good second session. We got 55% for Russell there. That's not bad.
After a day of free practice.
As we go into day 2, let's go with the mediums. I'm going to go with a 30 lap run. And for Pierre, I will go with a 26 lap run.
How's the radio on track?
Yeah, all good.
Alright. Oh, we're going to crash already. That didn't take long.
Yep.
Let's have a look.
Oh, it's
Now,
Richard
just focus
Basure.
on the Haas.
Just going in a little bit too hot and heavy into
Oh, a
turn 7
nasty
there.
crash there. Sounds like we've had a spin.
A spin for Yuki,
Let's
also
see
at turn
what
7.
happened there. Now let's look at this. The focus on Sonoda.
At least he kept it
That
out the
looked
wall.
like a very nasty spin.
We will get to 100 easily with Pierre. Oh, lock up for Russell.
Oh, they've got
That
away.
might break his curve.
They've locked up and gone straight on.
It's recalculating, I think. Yeah, it's recalculated, and you can see it's flattened out. So we might have to run him a little longer, because we're not going to have full car part knowledge, because we've dropped 3 brand new parts on the car for this race. So we do need to get into 100% track knowledge, and hope that our car knowledge will get up to 85. And that way we'll get our full 15 out of 15 bonus for both drivers. So I'm actually going to extend Gasly when he finishes his stint, just to help gain a little bit more car knowledge for the pair of them. Actually, I don't think I'm going to need to. Yeah, I'll stick him out till 84%. Just to make sure. There we go. Let's call him in. I don't think I'm going to have enough fuel in the car to do what I need to with George. I'm going to have to bring him back in and send him back out again.
Oh, did someone run wide there?
Trying to squeeze as much as I can while I've got the upward trajectory again. Got to call him in. Right, let's get some more fuel in that car. But not too much, don't want him to go too slow. We've got 13 minutes left, so that's going to be 11 laps of fuel. I'm only just going to crack 90. Yeah, he's only on for a 14 out of 15 at the moment. That's a shame. Don't think I can squeeze enough to get him the full bonus. Oh no. Wow, no, that's D5 out of 5 on his feedback. No, we're not going to quite make it. So he'll have a slight disadvantage over his teammate going into this race, but that's fair enough. So, we are good to go for quali. Not going to change any parts over, I don't think. Actually, let me check Pierre's car, because he has taken those knocks. 62 on the engine. It's a wet race, so hopefully he'll be able to, that'll help negate some of the power loss. Gearbox is okay, ERS is fine. Yeah, we'll carry on as is. He just might not qualify great.
Check, can you hear me?
Radio check, okay.
And because he has got a slight power deficit, I'm actually going to get him to sit behind Russell to get the tow. Just to help him out a little bit. There we go. So, fingers crossed we'll get a clean run and we won't get any traffic interfering. I've got some movement. There's one of the Alpines coming out. It's going to get in the way. Oh God, look at the way he just screwed over Gasly there. Well, hopefully Gasly can make that back up with a slipstream. This car, very good in the dirty air. and they see Gasly going purple in the middle sector. He has pulled some time back. That slipstream is definitely helping. There we go. That's how much he lost out there. 0.4 of a second. He was right on the gearbox of Russell going into turn 1, and then just got massively screwed over by was it Vettel or was it Ocon? It was Ocon. So, well, we're through to the next session, so let's see how the rest of the field does. Do we have front running pace here? We're ahead of Sainz, but that doesn't really mean much until the end of the session.
Who's running wide there?
Verstappen scuffing his lap. If he doesn't get a clean run in the final in the final part of the session, he could be out. If he gets stuck behind Tsunoda, for example. No, he's behind Ricardo. Oh, he's behind Ricardo. Ricardo's qualified quite well here. Are we starting to see an upturn in form for Ricardo, who was awful in the first couple of races? Alright, everyone's crossing the line. Now Verstappen is safely through. First and 8th. Again, look how close it is. Half a second separating the top 10. How far is it to last place? 1.3 seconds to Alonso. How is Alonso back there? He must have got held up to be that far off the pace. If we ignore that as an anomalous result because he got stuck behind somebody, we're looking at Yuki Tsunoda. We're looking basically at a gap of less than a second from 1st to 19th. This field is so close. Alright, we're going to go scrubs for the second run. We do need to make sure that Gasly gets a clean run.
Radio check. Radio check.
So I am going to anomalous is word number 7. No, I've done more than 7. But we are going to have to make sure that Pierre gets a clean run on these scrubs, because if he was only 8th on brand new sets, and yeah, admittedly he got held up slightly, but if that's all he could manage, then there's a risk he might not make the cut in this session. So, because we're going on scrubs, so we might have to send him back out again on a set of fresh tyres towards the end. I'm not too worried about or concerned about doing that because it's a wet race. So I will have the opportunity to save some dry tyres. But at the same token, on a wet race, usually you only end up using slicks if the track dries out. Softs for the slick tyres. So you don't want to burn too many sets. Alright, Pierre is a little bit too far off the back here. I'm going to not call him in, take control and get him to speed up a little bit.
We have margin to push a bit more.
Okay.
Please, lift off, please.
Copy.
There we go. Got him caught back up. And we've got clear track in front of us. Gasly's slightly faster in that first sector, getting that slipstream. This is what I wanted. I wanted to be able to help him out because he has got that slight extra deficit of power. He's down about 10% on his engine compared to George. He's definitely getting the benefit of running in that slipstream here. Playing the team game here. And there we go, a 13.9. He gains 4/10 over Russell by running in his slipstream there. That's great stuff. Right, Gasly needs to slow right down.
Need to drop the pace.
Copy.
Charge on for now.
Copy.
So that should be both drivers through safely. Let's see who's at risk. Porsche, Stroll, Norris, Vettel and Albon are the 5 at risk. Got a very interesting situation here. Look at Verstappen. He's got Bottas and Ricciardo right on the back of him. He's going to be giving them a mighty tow. He's having to go defensive as well. So this is going to benefit whoever's in second, in second in that queue, which is Bottas. Yeah, it's jumped him all the way up to third. He had a nice clean run. Ricciardo couldn't drive as fast as he could potentially have done because he was trying to find a way through, which was causing Verstappen to try and go a little bit slower because he was trying to be a bit more defensive, stop Ricciardo from getting in front of him, and Bottas just closed that gap and just jumped the pair of them. So we lose Porsche, Albon, Vettel, Norris and Stroll, along with Vasseur, Zhou, Schumacher, Tsunoda and Alonso in the first session. And it's a 15.2 is the slowest time there. 14.8 to a 13.9, which is a little elevated. It wouldn't normally be that fast, but that was with that slipstream all the way through. So if we say a 14.3 to Ocon, it's half a second separating the top 10 effectively. That is really close. I'm so enjoying this season so far. It's such a close grid. We're going to get some great racing all year. Right, brand new tyres for the final run.
The radio is good. You can hear me?
And I'm going to wait till the end of the session for my drivers to go out.
Copy.
Get them at the track at its best. And once again, we will get Gasly to get a tow from Russell. In the race, Russell's probably going to get past him with that extra engine performance, but we want to try and protect Gasly as much as possible with that worn engine, get him as high up the grid as we can, so he's got a better chance of staying in the points and in contention for a podium. So Russell is going to sacrifice a clear opportunity to take pole position to give it to his teammate here. Let's send them out. Just wait another few seconds. There we go. So Verstappen currently leads the pack with a 14.4, but they are coming round to complete their flying laps now. No, they're coming around to start their flying laps now. So we might well see some improvement on these times. Again, look how close it is. First to 8th. Half a second. Here we go, flying laps commencing. So Sainz does not improve, he stays 5th. Ricardo's gone pole. What? Where the hell did that come from? I got a slipstream. He slipstreamed. Was that Verstappen he slipstreamed? Oh no. My game's just locked up. Why did I check the... Oh. God damn. It's a 1-2, but it's not going to count because I can't end the session. My pad's frozen out again. God damn it. This bug's annoying. Alright, we're going to have to end the session and restart the stream because I've got to close down the game. So I'll be back with Q3 in just a minute.